What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Ericka, from the CLASSYIT blog. We're here in Atlanta. We just finished the Digital Liberty Tour, and we had to come in here and crack some news together. We in here with one of our best sponsors. This year's sponsor of the Digital Liberty Tour was Williams Accounting and Tax Services out of Atlanta. Well, technically not Atlanta. Where are you guys out of?
So yes, Williams Accounting and Tax Services is located in McDonough, Georgia. For those who are in the Atlanta area, that is 75 South, exit 218, and make a right.
Okay. So listen, we just finished up the tour. Were you pleased with it? I hope it was good for you.
Y'all missed a treat if you weren't there. Ericka always puts on the best events. If y'all missed the boat tour, y'all missed this tour, please catch her on the next one because she's going on hiatus for real.
They missed Panama trip?
Yes.
Man, we hit Panama twice. We hit the mountains, we hit the beaches. Listen, we've been doing it. So we're here in Atlanta, and one of the things I always stress to people is getting professionals to get them right. How long have you been doing taxes, Brandi?
So I do run a full service accounting firm. And of course, most people want to know their tax situation. So I've been doing taxes for over 20 years now. And I've seen a number of different situations. The most concerning is the fact that people don't know their tax situation.
Right. They don't know if they owe. They don't know where the paperwork at. I mean, because people be asking, like, what paperwork am I even supposed to keep?
So being an accountant, I say keep all your receipts, right? I am a receipt hoarder. But yes, documentation of your major purchases, especially for our business owners. You want to keep your gas receipts, your equipment receipts, your leases, supplies, office supplies, payroll records, all of the above. If you're unsure, keep it anyways.
So how long are we keeping it? Are we keeping it for 2 years? Are we keeping it for 3? How long do we keep it?
I say forever.
Oh, but no. Brandi gonna have us hoarding at our house. We can't do that.
Retention is usually about 5 years. I would keep them for at least 5 years. Other than that, as for individuals, be sure that you're keeping your records and don't rely on your tax preparer to do that part for you.
Because that's a bookkeeping service at that point.
Absolutely.
It's a different service. Something I thought was really special about your service. Tell them you got an office full of the world in there. What's going on over there?
So we are trilingual. We have Spanish speaking and Hindi speaking employees. So yes, we're trying to be sure everyone's covered.
For sure. Listen, I told her next we need Korean or we need Chinese. One of the two has to be added to the trio of the office. As you see the changing landscape of Atlanta, man, it's growing, it's booming here. A lot of people relocate here in an effort to save taxes, mostly from New York, but from some other places too, Connecticut, PA. What are some friendly advice you have for them as they transition?
I would say get to know the area. Don't just Google. Actually, come down and visit before you make that move. Because like we say in Atlanta, people in Atlanta don't actually live in Atlanta. We live in the suburbs. Okay, and I'm down in Henry County, which is rapidly growing, which is great for my business. We have a lot of small businesses down there. So if you need some bookkeeping, payroll, tax, we're full service. Please come see me.
So this year, 2024, it's an election year. It's a big one. We're not going to go political on this one, but we do want people to be aware. One of the biggest things I hear is people scared they're going to get an audit.
We have seen an uptick in audits. As you may have seen a couple weeks ago, there were a number of people standing outside the buildings downtown wanting to know where their refund was, right?
Right. It was wrapped around the building.
They were for hours. What I can say about that is be sure that you're vetting your tax preparer, right? There are different ways you can do that. One, there's always the Google reviews. You can always look at reviews. But the IRS.gov website actually has reputable tax preparers that they will post on their website. So you can Google somebody. You can put in somebody's name in the IRS.gov website and actually see if they're listed and reputable.
Keyword, listed and reputable. Anybody can cross their shoulders and put a nice flyer photo out on Facebook that they do taxes. So listen. I tell people what are some of the changing tax laws they need to be prepared, kind of aware of. Because a lot of people just show up April 1st, Where my money? I don't know what happened. And I feel like people aren't aware. Is there any laws that are changing this year they need to be aware of?
So this is, like you said, an election year.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know, IRS does not come up with their own tax bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's set by your Congress. And Congress is congressing, okay?
Yep.
We'll leave it at that.
People going to people.
So every year you're going to have threshold increases, right? That will be set for 401k contributions or your earned income credit. Child tax credit was actually a huge issue this year because Congress was thinking about applying an increase to the 2023. So we had some late filers that we were expecting to file in January and February, but they waited till the last minute to see if Congress was going to come through.
For sure.
I'm going to leave that at that. So keep an eye on those thresholds. Those are out. You can go to my website if you want to know the details of those numbers. In addition, somehow or another, I'm not going to go too deep into it. The S Corp filings have become very popular.
Listen, you YouTube folks, stop it. Knock it off. Promoting everybody change from LLCs to S Corps. I'll say it. Brandi's a professional. She will not, but I will.
Everybody doesn't need an S Corp, okay? So be sure that you contact a reputable accountant that can assess your situation. And if you need an S Corp, they'll let you know. This is Brandi Williams, owner of Williams Accounting and Tax Services. We're located in McDonough, Georgia. For those who are in the Atlanta area, that is 75 South, exit 218, and make a right. We're a trilingual office. We offer services in Spanish, English, and Hindi. We also offer a tax course starting August 1st all the way through April 30th. It is bilingual. We service in Spanish and English. On the other side of that, there's a difference between an accountant and a tax preparer. What I've seen this year is there are clients that I've onboarded that don't know their tax situation.
Right.
You know, you're making in excess of $100,000 with no type of deductions, and you haven't paid your quarterly taxes, and you're paying too much simply because your last tax preparer didn't tell you need an S Corp. So I'm not against S Corps, but you have to have the right situation in order to take the election.
Got you. You know, there is something that's on the horizon that I think many people aren't paying attention to is the boomers. And people are like, oh, Ericka, stop talking about boomers. And it's so important. I talk about how boomers are 77% of our economy, like overall tax base. And people say, oh, that can't be. But they're the business owners. They're the farmers. They're the small mom and pop, shops and barber shops and you name it. Baby boomers be owning some stuff. Okay. Now, that also relies into the CPA world. Now, what was the number you told me, Brandi, that retired in 2020?
So what we're seeing is that the number of CPAs that we have in this country, 75% of them hit the retirement age in 2020, okay? And we're seeing a downward trend in the number of college graduates that have accounting degrees, down 20% over time, which is going to leave room. There's going to be a shortage, right? Not only in the professional public world, but also in the private industries as well. So treat your CPAs and your accountants kindly.
They about to toss them books in the air. I know a friend's parent who is living well in Dallas, and they just decided they were ready to retire, and they packed up the business, closed everything down, and went to North Carolina to hang out with grandkids for a while. I think people are underestimating how big of a change that's going to be, because a lot of people are out here trying to buy businesses, and that's going to be a tax change for them as well.
Absolutely.
Massive change. So, Brandi, to combat some of this, you kicked off this year, you're getting ready to kick it off, a tax preparation school.
Yes, we actually launched last year.
Watch out. Let me correct myself.
Yes. So we run our tax course school from August to the end of tax season, which for us is actually April 30th. That's when we clean up everything, right? And then during the summer, we'll do updates for the current year. So our tax course will begin August 1st, 2024, and it'll run all the way through April 30th. Now, there's two components to that. You can do a self-study, which majority of our students prefer. Or you can do a in-person webinar, which I run October through the end of November, 8 weeks. And it is bilingual. So we also have a Spanish teacher, Mrs. Torres.
Hold on, you guys. We're going to create a Spanish ad for this. I promise you, we're going to get somebody to either on Fiverr or somewhere to get us a Spanish ad for Brandi. But go ahead.
Yes. So we did partner with Latino Tax, ATAX, to bring you this bilingual course. And our course is IRS approved and NASBA approved. So you can actually get on their websites and see, again, vetting us to let you know that we are approved by the IRS and NASBA.
Brandi, as we got people getting ready to get trained underneath you, getting excited, you know, what are some of the things you're looking forward to in 2024, 2025? I mean, you're training a group of people to get themselves prepared. What are some of the things you see for your business?
For me, I am working more with the baby boomers, simply because tech is not at the forefront of their mind, right? And I did see this past season that we offered more in-house calls or services for our baby boomers. They still keep paper records, you know.
So they're driving up to the office.
They're not driving to the office. We're actually going to them.
Oh, okay. Next level mobile services.
We are doing mobile services. Thank you for that. In addition to that, have you ever heard high school graduates say, you know what, they never taught us taxes in school?
That's right.
That is another reason for our tax course. It is a very basic understanding, but you as a regular American tax-paying citizen will be able to understand how to do your own taxes and also how to assess your tax situation going forward.
And part of the reason this is so important is so many people. I heard a hack on YouTube. I heard this TikTok guy say this. I heard I can just put 10 deductions on, and we hear all these like myths and old wives' tales. And it's better for you guys to go ahead and get the training up front and forward and have it clear books. Because really what people forget is 80% of Black and Latino business owners could not get PPP or EIDL loans. And it was due to their books, not their credit.
Absolutely.
A lot of people blame credit for the EIDL lack of participation, but it also was the books were a mess. And I remember talking to accountants during that time, and they sounded stressed. Y'all were stressing them out. So what is something you hope for? You know, a lot of times I tell people, why do we need more accountants?
So when you're putting together a business, what I'm often seeing is they wait until they're in trouble or need a PPP loan to find an accountant. That's not what you want to do. You want to make that part of your initial setup. Find yourself an accountant. It's better for you to pay on the front end rather than pay 10 times fold on the back end. Okay.
For sure.
Automation and artificial intelligence are changing the world forever. Without the correct skill set, you will become obsolete. My name is Dr. Patrick Dixon. I research how millions of people will lose their jobs unless they retrain.
So Brandi, when are you hosting the next Brandi tax event?
When Ericka makes me.
You know, I think it's so important for people to understand the power of taxes, because a lot of people are living in fear that there's something's going to be taken from them or they're going to garnish their wages. And when I hear wage garnishment, I'm like, well, what paperwork were you ignoring? The government gives you a long time of how many notices do they give you before that? Long time.
So yes, I mean, right now our IRS is backed up, right? But they've got the funding to hire and hire and hire, and they're coming for you. This year, I've seen an influx in audit letters from 2020. Now, 2020 was 4 years ago.
Good luck.
Yes,
that paper they done threw all that paper away.
Yes, so keep your records. But yes, so I expect to see 2021, 2022 audits come through. So make sure you have your documents. Another thing I'm seeing is people not being able to find their last tax preparer. They seem to drop off a grid. Okay. Again, that goes back to vetting your tax preparers. Okay.
Not disappeared on them.
Disappeared, gone, vanished.
Change phone numbers.
Exactly.
Google unclosed.
All right. So going back to finding your accountant up front. Okay. Find your accountant up front. Make sure all your paperwork is in order. In addition, we now have the FinCEN requirement for your BOIs. Make sure those are filed.
Break those down. What are those?
So I'm going to try to keep this as basic as possible.
For sure.
Your government wants to know who actually is behind your business. Okay. So it's your basic information, name, address, some other information to identify the owners of the business.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that goes back to the PPP loan scam that we've seen. And so get those done. If you have an existing business before 2024, you have a year to file that paperwork. If you have a new business in 2024, make sure that's part of your package when somebody sets you up for your LLC, because you've got 90 days to get that done. Okay.
So if we already have an existing business, we have till what, January next year or February?
December 31st.
Of next year.
2024.
Okay. Well, this year.
Yeah, this rolled out last year,
yes.
So get it done this year, please.
Okay. And so where will people even find those forms? Or is that something they need to get directly from the IRS?
Actually, this is FinCEN, so this isn't the IRS.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, it's so popular, you can put in the Google search BOI FinCEN and it'll pop right up the very first line.
It's hot on Google.
Yes.
So, okay, so they're going to get their paperwork together. They're going to get their business information out there. What else would you recommend in this season, right? I love QuickBooks, right? But we ain't giving them no free marketing. But I love them just as an organization tip. What is a way a person could organize their books for you before they just come to your office and throw a shoebox of receipts on you?
If you're going to set up your business yourself, I do have a blog on that on my website, williamsacctax.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll give you a list of steps to take in order to make sure you have all your paperwork in order up front before you even open your doors. Okay. In addition, I also offer that service for $150, and I will set everything up for you quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Listen, you guys, I try to bring you the best and quality. 20 years in the game. Out here living La Vida Loca in Atlanta. Great office. So listen, anything else you want to tell our audience or where they can find you online?
I will say this. Taxes are a part of your personal finance. Finance is personal to you.
Yes.
Although there's a lot of great information online and you can always find the answer that you're looking for, it may not actually apply to you. So be sure to just spend a couple $100 and get yourself an actual accountant to look at your financial situation. It will save you in the long run. And you can find me at Williams Accounting and Tax Services, LLC at williamsacctax.com. We are at Williams Act Tax on all social media platforms.
You guys, this is your girl, Ericka Williams from the Classy Climb blog. We're going to work on getting Brandi's Spanish version of her ad getting ready. You guys, this is your girl, Ericka. Thank you so much.